I guess at one point my drink fell out of my hand and my hand was still holding a drink. And you were like, "Hey man, it's time for you to go."
Yeah, I walked you up to your room.
And you walked me to my room.
Like an alcoholic action
If
figure.
he hadn't have walked me to my room, I was at the point where I don't know where I'm staying.
You
no
might just
way.
be getting out of jail.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, hello, yeah. Nice people. My balls is totally moving, doing it grooving. Now can we get back up? I've got the heart and desire. My balls are on fire, ready to take us to the top. Welcome to the show. Did you know that your mom is a nice lady? All hail the king of the West. Yeah, I haven't seen Carey Hart for a while, and my favorite thing to do is sing a stupid song about my testicles.
Holy shit, that looked painful.
Yeah, well, I try to. Yeah, you're here and you're married to a real singer, so I was like, really bring it home. So
Nice.
maybe you'll tell Alicia that
Get you a record
maybe-
deal?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's what it was. That's the plan. Maybe a duet. This guy's hot right now. I'm telling you, Alicia, I didn't know, but Jason, whew, what a voice.
On
This guy,
fire.
maybe we should sign him. Yeah.
This generation Susan Boyle.
I'm like, who the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that lady.
Yeah.
She got to be dead for sure, right?
No. She's never been better.
Right. Good for her.
Yeah.
So, Carey, thanks for coming all this way. That's
All good.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've been trying to get
It
a
has.
hold of you, and you're a very busy person who doesn't live anywhere near Hermosa
Yeah.
Beach. So, thanks for being
Dude,
here.
it's all good. Good to catch up again.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So, you're all in one piece. We talked a little bit at the start about having
Relatively.
injections and trying to keep the limbs to work, and you're racing dirt bikes this year.
Yeah, I had a pretty productive winter doing a lot of film strips and photo shoots and stuff like that. And then now gears kind of shift a bit to summertime races. So I'm doing a bunch of old man races, Mammoth Motocross. I'm going to do the amateur day at Fox Raceway for the National.
Okay.
There's a 2-stroke dream race up in Washington I'm going to try to hit up. Just, keeping the dream alive.
A lot of races then.
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I mean, first and foremost, just the younger generation, like with you with skating, like I'm not going to go out and just send it off of ramps anymore.
Right.
Like I've definitely passed
Good
that
call.
point. Yeah, I've passed that point in my life. And honestly, I still love racing. I still love riding my dirt bike. I still love racing. It's fun, go out. I know I have to get up out of bed on Monday and I'm not going to go too hard. And it's fun doing a gate drop and getting your adrenaline going.
What about cars? Do you think you'll go back to cars when you stop riding two wheels, or you're just like, nah?
Nah, I mean, I'm
Not the
sure
same
you
to you?
can. I loved racing the off-road truck series. Like
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun, but just time is not on my side. I got 2 young kids. I got a wife that tours for a living. And, I'm lucky enough to make a living still as a motocross rider. So it's more career driven versus hobbies.
Okay.
I got plenty of hobbies that'll keep me entertained. That doesn't have to
Like
keep me
building
on the
bikes.
road.
Is that what you would call a hobby?
Well, really, that's a majority. Like I would say 60% of my workday is Indian motorcycles and 40% is motocross. So
And what is
really,
the deal with Indian motorcycles? You're sponsored by them. You customize them. How's that whole thing work? I know you have a ride week thing that you do. Like, so you have a charity.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's a little, I don't want to say complicated, but it's very similar to what my motocross career was, right? I stumbled into doing V-twin things, not on purpose, but just through a passion of mine. And I started to work with companies like Indian Motorcycles, Bell Helmets, Dunlop Tires, like people I've worked with through motocross.
Yeah.
And I do 4 or 5 builds a year, which I love doing. So
4
I
or 5
customize-
builds. That means you customize somebody else's bike 4 or 5 times, or is it your bike and then you just put it on a show and it goes around on tour?
It just depends. Typically, I'll do about 2 a year that are my personal bikes. So to your point, I build 2 of my personal bikes. I give them to Indian. They take them on the road all year long, take them to shows,
Oh, sweet.
activations, whatnot. And then once in a while, I'll do a build for like India might commission me to do a build for somebody. So
Yeah.
like recently I just did a build for John Bernthal, the actor from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So like they commissioned me to do a build for him.
He didn't want a zombie bike, right?
No.
Right.
He's
Okay.
super good
Good.
dude. No.
Yeah.
No, but
You never know with these TV, man. They get involved.
yeah.
And
I don't
then
think he made it
there's-
past season 1 anyway.
Yeah, Carey strapped a person that acts like a zombie on the back of it. Oh, I'm the bike. Like it's not.
Bats, barbed
Not
wire.
bad.
We got the idea.
Yeah, none of that.
It's like samurai swords that lock in the back. You got to be ready to fight. at
And
all
then,
times.
you know, like social media is king. So I do a lot of content for Indian. I go to events for Indian and my other sponsors as well, and
Yeah.
do press rides, you know, just kind of do the thing.
And what's the ride thing that you do? Because I just recently, do you know who Matt Vincent is? I got his clothing on Hate Clothing.
know
He
that.
won. He's a
Was it
wait,
Highland Games?
he won the Highland Games several times. Had a lot of knee surgeries.
Uh-huh.
He beats us. He's had like
Just smoke.
20
Oh,
20 knee
Jesus.
surgeries. Now he's finally got a leg that he can walk on, but I
Yeah.
think he's had knee replacement, the whole thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so he knows a lot about it. But he was like, "Hey, do you want to go on a bike ride with us? With the, get your license." And these guys are going. I think they might have been Indians. I'm not sure, but
Uh-huh.
bike ride where you would take your wife and we're going to go. And I was like, "Yeah, I would do that."
Yeah.
And then it was 2 weeks. I'm like, I don't have 2 weeks to do.
Yeah.
I can't leave
It's hard.
the world for 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he was like, "What about a week?" I'm like, "I could do that," but I am thinking about doing that.
Dude, absolutely. It is so much fun, you know, like
What's your thing called?
So I do a charity called Good Ride,
Yeah.
and what that consists of is when me and Big B, you know, really immersed ourselves in this V-twin world of, you know, going to events on behalf of Indian and other people. When we got there, we kind of realized there was a lot of downtime, right? Like, you know, we would go on a press ride or, you know, go host an event or whatever it might be. And I've always wanted to do my own charity. And through motocross, it was kind of hard. You know, you had Road to Recovery and some well-established charities, right?
Yeah.
And I always supported all those. And so one thing I learned going to all these events is there's a massive veteran and active military contingent that
Yeah.
are involved around V-twin.
Okay.
And from my wife's side of the family, my father-in-law was in Vietnam, his wife was in Vietnam, and my brother-in-law just retired lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. So I didn't know a lot about military before hooking up with Alicia. And I saw more so with my father-in-law, like, you know, they pump tons of money into turning you into a soldier and going out and defending our country. And then they kind of throw you to the wayside when you come home.
Yeah.
And there's a big contingent of veterans that aren't getting the treatment that they need. So because of the people that we were around, you know, the kind of light bulb went off is that, all right, well, for one day when we're in Sturgis or one day when we're in Daytona, we'll put together a charity ride. You know, we'll invite out a bunch of veterans, let them ride for free. And then we raise money for Infinite Hero, which is Oakley's military charity.
So everybody who isn't a veteran pays to go for a ride with you, and all that money goes to the veterans.
Exactly.
I feel like starving children and veterans, we should be giving them money. Like those
Yeah.
are the ones where it's like, you fought for the fucking country, dude.
Exactly.
You should not be hurting.
No, and you come home from your tour and see things that people shouldn't see or do things that people shouldn't
Right.
have to do. And they just get, like I said, they get thrown to the wayside. So working with Infinite Hero, which is our beneficiary to our charity, you know, Oakley just does amazing things for veterans, whether it's PTSD, physical injuries, whatnot. So, you know, it's our selfless act that we do 4 or 5 times a year and raise
awesome,
money
dude.
for them. Yeah.
Are those guys super appreciative when you hang out with them?
Absolutely. You know, we typically have anywhere from 20 to 40 vets that get to come on our ride for free and just
It's
enjoy
gotta
the
feel
day and
good,
ride.
right?
It does. Yeah. You know, like having conversations with these guys, you know, like they're in their heads and in their worlds. And for that one afternoon, they get to forget about all that and go
Right.
hook up with 100 other people and go for a motorcycle ride and have a great time.
All right. They need help when you get back. I don't care how tough you are. If you go through shit like that, you got to have help. You can't just be like, all right, fucking back to work. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
work like that.
It does not.
You're a human.
Absolutely.
You've seen really crazy shit. I can't even begin to imagine what it would be like.
Yeah.
But you can't, I know from having damage, you can't just walk back into life and think it's all
Pretend
going to
it
work
didn't
out.
happen.
You gotta open up. You gotta unpack it. And, you know, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. And for, you know, I don't want to say all, but for a big contingent of veterans, there isn't that system that really, really takes care of them. You know, that they just kind of get thrown to the wayside.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit.
It's pretty fucked up.
Yep. But you're trying to help.
Trying.
It seems like you are helping.
I mean, we're doing our part, you know, I mean, it's a bigger problem, but I think just awareness and raising some of the money that we do is definitely helping.
Why vets and this this particular bike, and why do people want to ride that bike?
You know, it's funny. Like when I got into the V twin thing, it wasn't like an organized plan. I was always a fan of V twin motorcycles. You know, I rode Harleys when I was younger.
What is a V twin?
So a V twin is like an American motorcycle. It's the way the motorcycle's built, or the motor specifically is built. It considers it V twin. So Indians, Harley Davidsons are the two big American V twin motorcycles.
Oh, okay.
Which is like a very Americana thing. You know, like they're obviously huge in America, and there's pockets around the world that is popular. Actually, really popular in Australia as well.
Oh, that makes sense.
And you know, when I got into this thing, it wasn't a planned thing. I kind of stumbled into it, and thankfully, it's given me something to really focus on, embrace for life after motocross.
Yeah.
And I just gravitated to Indian because I just felt it was a much better motorcycle, superior motorcycle. And I love the fact, like now that I'm really truly immersed in the culture of it, you know, like there's this massive rivalry with
that was my
Harley
next
and
question.
Indian.
Is it intense like Ford and fucking, what was it like in
yeah,
Australia?
like Ford and Chevy.
Yeah, because in Australia it was Ford and Holden.
Yeah. It is a very intense rivalry.
Sorry,
I'm a Holden man.
Hey, if you're in Australia,
Oh,
it was a good
I know Holden.
in Australia, it was a good argument at the time. All right,
The Utes.
Yeah, I remember being against Ford. I had to be.
How did Holden end up doing?
Yeah, I think they died. I think it's over.
Or
I
did they
think
get
went out of
bought?
business a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know.
well, they're
Did it?
General Motors, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think because I see the Commodore here, and it's called something else.
Yeah.
And it's a General Motors car.
Uh,
I've seen. I'm like, hey, it's a fucking Commodore. No, it's not. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, I don't understand. It's got a different badge on it. I don't get it.
yeah.
But I think the money, it ended because I know the Brocky special. Did you ever meet Peter Brock? Because if you're a guy, because you did celebrity races, I think at one point
What
the
does he
celebrity
do?
race in Australia might have. Peter Brock was a. You know how Australia had the NASCAR looking cars.
Oh, yeah,
but we
Super
we
V8s.
didn't go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Super V8. He was the king of that.
Oh, okay.
He was like the Tony Hawk of it.
I probably did meet him then, because I actually did some stuff with.
That's what I'm saying. You did the
Holden
race
over
there.
there years ago.
Yeah, for sure. And to the point where they made a car called the Brocky Special.
Oh wow.
So there was a Commodore V8, then there was a Commodore V8 Brocky Special, and that had like race suspension. It had the
Better
wheel
brakes.
set.
Yeah.
So it was like built to fucking it fucking hammered and it turned.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they have muscle cars here, like
Yeah,
the
like the
Camaros,
Dodge
but with better
Challenger or something like that.
front end to like a lot of muscle cars here. They're like light in the front. You can't
Yeah.
get the nose to catch. It's dangerous. They're so
Absolutely.
fast and
Yeah.
they don't really turn that well.
Yeah.
I felt like the Peter Brock car was like a Porsche with a muscle
It was
car
the best
engine.
package.
Yeah, it was fucking lethal. And I don't know. And we all the bogans of Australia agreed that the Peter Brock special was
Yeah.
number one. So it was very hard to understand that you're saying no more Peter Brock specials. It's like, no, man, because Commodore is. I don't believe there's any Commodores, Michael.
No, that is right. The last Holden Commodore rolled off the line in October of 2017.
Crazy.
R.I.P.
Sad day.
It is terrible.
I've had a lot of fun in a Peter Brock special. Let me tell you, that was probably the first time when I realized that. Just like I know now that if you're kind of bummed out, if you go in a cold plunge for 3 minutes, if it scientifically cheers you up, there's no escape. You just freeze the shit out of yourself, then get out, and you're like, you know what? I'm a little bit happier. Peter Brock special, same thing. A little bit down, and you fucking and you're like, I think I'm gonna be okay today.
You know,
It
I
had
got
that-
to drive a V8 supercar, and I got invited to do an endurance race over there.
So long periods of time in that car.
Yeah, I did a full day of testing in it. It was the Super Cheap. Is that? It's like the Pep Boys over in Australia, right? Super Cheap.
Okay.
The
It's been
retail
a-
stores.
Maybe it's new for me.
I don't know.
I'm-
Anyways,
I think I lived there when last time you were there, dude. I'm so American now. I don't know anything.
so Alicia was on tour over there, and I was doing a freestyle moto tour in the parking lot of her venues.
Yeah.
And Holden sponsored the whole thing. So one of the days we went to this test facility where one of the race teams was set up, and it was more like a photo op. You know, Alicia taking pictures in the car. I got to drive the car around as well. Took some pictures.
So cool.
So the team owner, after
It's like
all
a
the
childhood dream.
oh, absolutely.
That car is.
So when the TV cameras all shut down and everything, everyone kind of dispersed. He's like, "So you got some driving background?" And I told him about doing Lucas, and I
Yeah.
did early day rally stuff. He's all, go put down 5 laps. So I went out and put down, what I thought was some pretty good laps. Pull back in the pit, and he's like, "All right, hold on a second. goes over and talks to his crew chief, pulls out his main practice car from his race team. So this was like a detuned one.
Yeah.
Pulls out the real race car, kind of ran me through a few things. He's like, all right, go out and do 5 laps. I went out, ran 5 laps,
How much
comes
better
back
is
in,
it?
just gave me kind of a couple pointers,
Yeah.
just like, entering turns and exiting a couple of them.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, go down, put 10 hard laps. I don't care if you end up in the infield, whatever, go put down 10 hard laps.
Yeah.
Went out and ran 10 laps, came back in in the pits, talked to his crew chief for a minute, comes back over. He's like, you got anything going on in December? We're actually short a ride driver for the endurance race. And I was like, oh,
fuck yeah.
And it was back in contest days and I couldn't do it.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
I was so devastated.
Oh,
But just to get
man.
the head nod that I
Yeah.
could go over and do a race was
Agreed.
pretty epic.
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Attention, listeners. Are you ready to be blown away?
Get blown.
Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, who just relaunched the Ultra Smooth Package. That's right. I got a pretty slick package in the mail the other day. And thanks to that, I got a pretty slick package in my pants right now. It's back, baby. The Ultra Smooth Package from Manscaped.
Yeah. As somebody who is very clumsy and stupid, I have injured my yam bag, if you will,
Yam bag.
a few times. Well,
That's what we're doing?
yeah. Sorry, scrote. So
Oh, that made it way better. Yeah.
the razors that
Shut up. Sorry, my dog's excited.
the Manscaped razors really are as close as you can get to idiot proof. And then they've got like the exfoliating stuff that you rub on so you don't get any ingrown hairs, the gel to lube it up. So I don't know if you don't want your yam bag to look like Santa Claus
Oh
covered
my.
in like 3 inches of shaving cream.
Get 20% off free shipping with code Ellis at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Ellis at manscaped.com. Smooth out your fellas with the relaunch Ultra Smooth Package from the fellas at Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. Blue Chew gets you hard. Wow.
We're talking about Blue Chew again because
Bone
we
zone.
love boners.
Yeah.
Are you
fully-
looking for extra confidence when it's time for sex? Hey, it's not just about sex. What about when you masturbate?
Yeah.
That's when I use them.
Yeah, you don't want to stroke your flaccid, right?
Even if you're just performing for an audience of one, who
Yeah.
doesn't want to be loud and proud and ripped and veiny?
Yeah.
That's,
Oh,
that's
man.
what I say. But sure, you're like, yeah, sure, I want to jerk off with huge boners, but I don't want to have to go to the pharmacy for that. I don't
No.
have to have awkward conversations with doctors. How do I know if I'm going to get the right medication for me? Well, that's where Blue Chew comes in.
Yeah, I've taken it and it works. So I'm here to say that you're not going to get scammed here. This is the real deal, everybody.
Yep, you're going to get discreet packaging and non-discreet boners.
Yeah, no, those things cannot be silenced.
And Blue Chew is hooking up Jason Ellis Show listeners with a special deal. You can try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code Ellis at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping, and that's bluechew.com, promo code Ellis, to receive your first month free.
Get hooked up.
I wanted to ask you about when we first started hanging out, because I've brought it up a few times. I felt like when we hung out on the big day out, is that what it was when we first
Yeah.
sort of broke down?
Yeah. Or Warp Tour.
It was Warp Tour, my
Warped
bad.
Tour.
Yeah, because they blend into
Yeah.
the
Same thing,
same
basically.
thing. You're like, man, I don't know. Same people are
Bunch
on
of
it.
sweaty people
Yeah.
stomping around in the dirt all day long, listening to the same band.
Which way was the toilet water going?
That was the problem with Warp and Big Day Out. They were both in Australia. The toilet went the same way. It was
Wait,
very...
there was Australian warped?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's how we met.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering how you
brutal.
couldn't tell the difference between the two. That
Yeah,
makes a
because
lot
it was
more
exact. They'd fucking camp, same tent, same
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
like
it's
here we
brutal.
are again. But I know that at one point when we were hanging out, I was running the baby blue FUBU jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And now that I look back on that, like I know that I've made a lot of like incorrect decisions in my life, but that one was one of those ones where I'll own it. But wow, you fucking idiot!
Dude, Hip Hop Ellis was amazing. I still see, I have random photos from the old days, and I just refer to him as Hip Hop Ellis from those days. Oh, it was amazing. Huge pants, massive
Yeah.
fucking pants.
Yeah, I went for it, right?
Just the big chunky DC shoe,
Yeah.
the crooked. I mean,
yeah.
kidding.
What year was this?
Oh God, like 2000-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, the FUBU era, as
Dude,
glorious as it was,
like
only
99,
lasted so
2000?
long.
Dude, I lived in Carlsbad, and I had a black girlfriend, and I would go to the mall with all my shit on, and Colin was
Like
waiting-
Malibu's Most Wanted?
B-Rad.
Colin McCone. Seriously, I hate to admit it because I'm like, man, I've always been pretty cool. No, you were really, really not at all. But I think being Australian, people gave me a hall pass for it. They're like, what the fuck are you wearing? And I'm like, oh, mate, it's fucking FUBU. It's fucking sick. It's for us. It's for us, not you. They're like, what are you talking about? You're what? Nah, mate, I'm Australian. It's different. And people would go, what? Okay. And I'd get away with it because I feel like I should have been stomped several times or just been at the party and be like, fucking, what's up, mate? FUBU. Because I was always running it, like the most goofiest kind of shit. It was just always,
Hip Hop Ellis.
man, he was a fun guy.
I actually have a funny story about you. If you, I don't even know if you
Please.
remember because it was
For
keep
sure,
in
I know.
mind, Warped Tour is just a drunken haze.
Of course.
So he's probably told you on that tour there was no motorhomes, hotel rooms. You just
Tents.
stayed in military tents.
Yeah.
In a huge field.
in summer of Australia.
Summer, absolutely miserable.
Like you could not sleep in. If you did, you'd die.
Oh, absolutely. So to his point, this minute the sun cracked, you would start hearing zippers come blowing open and people kicking their little drop down doors
And
open.
we'd all been
just
up all
suffocating.
night,
Yeah,
drunk.
partying all night,
So it's like-
wasted.
A couple hours sleep, and now you're dehydrated trying to get out of a steaming tent.
So-
Everybody.
We all the athletes had a late night the night before, and I woke up early when the sun cracked and was walking to the bathroom, and I see a tent with the zipper down and 2 feet hanging out of the tent. And I'm like, I kind of walk by and casually kind of look because I was, there's 200 tents in this area, and I can kind of peek and see that it's Ellis in there. So I go on, I do my thing. And like 2 hours later, I see this guy and he can barely walk. He's hobbling around. His feet were out of the tent and the bottom of his feet got sunburned. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Cab said that he walked by and he said that there was a row of ants walking across my leg over to another spot. Like I'd been there that long.
It was brutal. He
Yeah.
was hobbling around like an old man for like 4 days, just
Yeah.
blistered bottom feet.
Mind you, still skating.
Mm.
Like I was fucking
Oh,
in,
yeah,
the,
you had
in the
to.
demo. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely had to.
So wait, that like the actual soles of your feet?
Oh,
The-
yeah. Yeah. Real
Jesus
bad.
Christ. I didn't even know it was possible.
Because I did hours. You know what I mean? Like
Just
my
roasted.
foot was upside down in the sun for like 5
Like
hours.
he's laying on his belly, so
Yeah.
his bottom of his feet were exposed.
I should have kept your Air Force Ones on.
Yes. Fuck you, Kevin.
Yeah.
my lugs.
yeah, exactly.
Wear your Timberlands when you really need them.
Could have at least put my FUBU jersey over the top of my feet.
Your story's kind of blurred. Why do I feel like I've heard that only with you in a pool of urine as well?
Yeah, because it's another time.
Warped tours were brutal.
You were there for sure. We're out the front of a bar, and I used to do this thing where I'd say quick impression Mel Meninga, and Mel Meninga is this all black Maori guy that played. I didn't even follow rugby. I just followed Mel Meninga because he was this intimidating guy that just knocked everybody over, and he became kind of famous. And I made a joke like, "I'm Mel Meninga," and then I'd run and shoulder block something. So drunk Jason, really stupid, and I see this trash can like bolted on the side of a stop sign, and I go, "Quick impression, Mel Meninga," and I run off and fucking boom.
Like a powder blue freight train.
Sleeveless freight train.
I'm so glad I've already admitted that I'm gay because it's so much easier to be like, I wore FUBU and did the dumbest shit ever. Like, yes, I am that guy. But it span around and hit the car next to it.
Yeah.
And I guess that was the bouncer's car. So he was going to beat me up. And a bunch of people helped me, because I was so drunk. I was like, go on then, like idiot. And then that's when I got back to the tent and I was like, I need to piss. And I was so drunk that I couldn't even get my pants undone. And then when I finally did, I started pissing. I fell over and I was on my back pissing all over myself. And I was so drunk that I couldn't make my dick turn off. And I'm just like, oh, fucking. And then I finally got up and I was like, man, I got up when I'd finished peeing. So I got all over myself. And I'm like, wow, You are so wasted. Go to sleep. Wake up in the morning because the tent's so hot. I wake up and I'm like, oh, and my hand is underwater. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I see my cell phone underwater near my hand. And I'm like, oh, what? How did I? And then I realized that it's not water. It's my pee.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And I've like peed myself in my sleep and drowned my hand in my cell phone. And then when I pop my head out, Steve Caballero, who's a legend and also the team manager of the Bones Brigade that I'm on. And I'm like, my face is all puffy from like being steamed with urine or whatever. And my head comes out as he walks by, tip toppity, ready to rise and shine with his little
Ready to
towel,
kill
his
the
fucking
day.
soapbox, going to the showers. And he saw it, look at me and went,
Ah.
and I was like, I'm getting kicked off. Like, I remember thinking I'm getting kicked off. I didn't, but if you had of, I wouldn't have blamed you.
Yep.
Carey, it must feel good knowing that you never did anything like this.
Oh no, I've done all of the above.
He looked great coming out of the tent.
I just kind of got it out of my system, luckily, when I was a little bit younger.
You think that's what it was?
I think so. I don't know. I think that I didn't love the hangovers as much. I think
Yeah.
I was a smarter drinker.
Yeah.
I kind of had, like, even to this day, I kind of have that off switch. I'm not perfect, but I kind of have that off switch, like, oh wow, this is gonna hurt tomorrow.
Yeah, I very rarely saw you where I was like, you probably should go home.
I mean, I definitely have many, many of them, but considering the amount of times that I drink versus those nights, I think my ratio is pretty good.
Do I remember you saying not that long ago, like last 10 years, that you'd made the decision to get hammered one night a month and exactly like to keep it real?
No, what I I go through different phases of drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have many bad habits, but I do love booze and I do love chewing tobacco. So like those are my two Achilles heel. And so I go through these different phases. Like I used to call it the pregnant woman diet, where I allowed myself like one glass of wine a night. So it just kind of keeps me at bay and not going too hard. Like, I'm not bad at getting wasted, but I'm really good at drinking just enough to have a hangover, like a small hangover 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So when I would go through these phases, I would go hard one night, and it's usually like Friday night. So I had Saturday to recover to be like, oh, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. So it's kind of like that little bit of just a reminder.
Yeah, you always had it a little more together. Like, I think it's very rare that I've seen him like slurring or anything. It's always, and if he is slurring, there's no way I'm catching it.
Well, yeah, you're already past
gone.
me.
If you're slurring, I'm gone.
That's why you don't remember, because
Yeah.
you're just that much farther in front of me.
I mean, do you remember the tattoo shop Tony Hawk show and
How could
Chocolate
I
L
forget?
punching me, and then
Getting kicked in the
I
nuts.
thought I got raped. And I called you. I was like, I think somebody raped me last night. And then you told me the story of how I told a girl to kick me in the nuts and I wouldn't spill my drink. It's
Yeah.
a great idea. I don't know who.
And it wasn't one kick; it was like 15.
Yeah. I don't remember any of it.
That's good.
But I guess at one point my drink fell out of my hand and my hand was still holding a drink. And you were like, hey, man, it's time for you to go.
Yeah, I walked you up to your room.
And you walked
me to
tucked
my
you
room.
in.
Like
'Cause
like an alcoholic
Dude,
action
if
figure.
he hadn't have walked me to my room, I was at the point where I don't know where I'm staying.
You
no
might just
way.
be getting out of jail.
Yeah. Oh, man. But then the backflip bitch tattoo, like I didn't
Yeah.
remember any of that.
Oh yeah, that was all you're doing.
Yeah, it was all my doing. That was it's a good story, but man, that was a painful.
Yeah, life lessons.
Yeah. That was one of the. That was it when it was getting to the end. I was like, this has got to end.
Yeah,
This is not.
Yeah.
Nobody
I mean,
should do this.
everybody has it, just on different levels. I feel.
Yep. Took a while.
Yeah. Then you grow up and get into kratom.
Yeah, and that worked out great.
Yeah.
Because you can't get. No matter how much kratom I take, I never tell Katie to start kicking me in the dick until I spill my kratom.
Exactly.
Like I've never come up with that idea, and I don't feel like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's
But
it's
it
not a
is-
gateway for something.
It is a lifesaver, but I think because we're talking about feel free. Where is it?
Watch that shoulder.
It's the other one. Trust me, that wouldn't be that doesn't do it. But these guys right here that I've been talking about for a while, Carey is also on the team.
Yep.
But this has got kava in it as well. So it's not kratom, it's kratom and
Yeah.
kava. And I think that because I've got kratom as well, and that is also great. But this, for some weird reason, I don't want to do kratom. I just do this one. That's it, because there's something different in it that kind of wakes you up channels your focus a little more instead of just taking the edge off. There's something there that makes it like I skate with it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't skate
Oh yeah.
with just Kratom.
Absolutely.
This for some weird reason, especially if you're older and you're sore or it's hard to, because to me, once I get going and the body's heated up, I feel decent.
Yeah.
But because I'm older and if I train a lot, the first couple of minutes jumping rope to warm up,
Oh, it hurts.
the first 5 minutes, I don't know if I can make it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've gone, you know what? It's not jump rope day.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
Yeah, let's
shadow
move
box
on.
because
Yeah.
I cannot fucking do it.
Yeah.
With these, it really does help. And for skateboarding, being as old and unbalanced as I am these days, you can't do shit where you get wobbly. And this works.
Yeah. It's funny, like how we're
Just
talking
one.
about, like, being old, right? Like, being mindful of
It's not even old. We're old
Or beat up.
We're old for athletes.
exactly beat up. I
Yeah.
should say.
If
to
it's
your
like
point.
if you're like going to dinner, you and I can go to dinner with the best of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. No,
But
you're
if we're talking
100%
about
right.
let's go do activities, punch and kick, and do fucking backflips,
Yeah.
and the other thing, we're addicted to it. You got to put that in. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, so I don't do backflips anymore. I fucking need to do something that's similar to a backflip.
Yeah.
all
I need
right.
to scare myself.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? That's why I love comedy.
Yeah.
I'm terrified,
Totally.
but when I lose,
You're not gonna get hurt.
no ambulance.
yeah. Exactly.
It's fucking amazing.
You just go home with your head down.
I fucked up. I should have done that from the start.
Yeah, and that's like honestly what got me into this stuff is, over the last 10 years, because of all the injuries and all the anesthesia and overtraining and partying and all the aspects that's the life that I have led, I've had to be so super anal about my health and what I eat and what I put in my body. And, like probably like most people in America, I was, kind of, I don't want to say addicted to caffeine, but it was like out of bed to the coffee maker, pound a cup, a pot of coffee. Now I got the caffeine jolts and my day just kind of started off just bananas. And I started using this stuff as more of like a wake up, but it's not that, like you can probably talk to this. It's not that caffeine crash, or jolt then crash. It's just like, I get focused, I can focus on what I have to do that morning, which is usually get my kids to school and out the door and all these things. And I can just roll into my day. And then as well as throughout the course of the day, like I'm juggling 2 careers, 2 kids, a wife that tours, all these aspects of my life. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm usually generally fucking pissed off or stressed out about something. Like that's kind of my day. That's my trajectory.
So awesome. 2 o'clock. Fuck.
Yeah. So by 2 o'clock, I'm either pissed off or stressed out or anxious. And then this also tailors all that. It kind of chills me out, puts me back in perspective. So again, like I was actually using this stuff for a good 6 months before I started working with a company like you do.
Me too.
And because I was like, dude, I don't want to be jumping on some snake oil shit. Like I don't solicit energy drinks. I don't solicit, crazy nasty shit. But so I wanted to try and get on board with it. And this is a daily routine for me.
Magic Spoon. It's a cereal, and it tastes like when you're eating it, you're a child. It's got fun in it. Every bite is full of fun, sugary, fun flavoredness, coming in all different sizes, fruit flavors and stuff. It's fun. It's awesome. But turns out it's good for you. It's
That's
confusing.
right. Guilt-free fun, sugar-free fun. 0 grams of sugar to be specific.
I don't know how they did that.
13 to 14 grams of protein and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Only 140 calories a serving. And it passed the smell test. Your kids are going to think,
Yeah.
you can eat it with your kids.
Yeah.
Everyone will be winning. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. The variety pack 4 flavors are cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter. One more delicious than the next. Try mixing up the peanut butter and the cocoa for some extra spice in your breakfast.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
I think I said cuckoo. I meant cocoa. You know where I was going with that.
Go to magicspoon.com/Ellis. Grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use the promo code Ellis at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident with their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guaranteed. So if you don't like it for any reason, you can refund your money, no questions asked. Remember your next delicious bowl of gluten-free cereal at magicspoon.com/Ellis and use the code Ellis to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. Yeah, to me, if I get up early and do shows and then I got a comedy show to do at, 9 o'clock at night, I used to go to bed around that time.
Yeah.
So now for me to be this guy that goes out late, I feel like it's like, hey man, you're doing stand up at 10. Like tonight, I'm doing stand up at 10:30. 10:30 is time for me to shut off.
Oh yeah.
I'm usually on the couch smoking a joint and getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah, totally.
But I'll do one of those when I'm at the club, and it'll give me that hour that I need.
Yeah. Get you kind of chatty, get you like in that mood. Yeah.
It's better than an energy drink.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
been a long time since I'm the same as you, just coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Energy
even
drinks
kind
scare
of
me.
gave up coffee. I'm more on the green
You
tea
have
kick.
you don't drink coffee.
I mean, I don't have anything against it, but like I have to douse it with cream and sugar. And
Yeah, me too.
I'm
Are you a
allergic
dairy
to
guy? You don't do
everything.
dairy, right?
No
Oat milk.
dairy, no gluten, no soy. So I just switched
No
to green-
gluten. Is that new?
No, I've been this way. Like I said, about 10 years ago, my health kind of went to shit, and I
Well,
realized
why?
I just so basically from as like you with skating, right? You don't have a season. Your off time is when you're hurt.
Yeah.
So I've been treating motocross as a career since I was 12. Like that was when I was an amateur racer trying to aspire to be a factory supercross racer. So just all the years of overtraining and getting injured and anesthesia, like I just had my 19th surgery, like all these things, then adding through my 30s, trying to be a businessman and making some bad decisions and the stress of juggling everything. I just literally wore my system down to the point of where,
Oh shit.
okay, we have to reset, like I wasn't able to even get through like my training protocols that I would do, like getting ready for X Games and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, I started to have testosterone levels and DHEA levels and all my shit. And
Was it
come to-
low?
it was like 210.
All right.
And so come to find out, it's like, all right, you're allergic to almost fucking everything. You're poisoning yourself with, required surgeries and pain meds to recover from surgeries and all this other shit. You don't take any time down. You now have a kid, you're married, you're chasing your wife around the world. Either you have to get your shit together or you're going to be dead by the time you're 50 due to a fucking heart attack or a stroke. And it was kind of that wake up call in my mid 30s. It's like, okay, recalibrate, prioritize, and I would say like, I don't get to hang out with my friends as much as I used to, or do my personal
Kids will
enjoyment stuff.
Take that away
Exactly.
anyway.
But I had to prioritize like what is more important.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point in my life, my health is because, I'm 46 years old, almost 47. I have a 5-year-old. So like, I don't want to be some decrepit pile of shit dad when my kid's 15 and I can't do anything with them.
It's so funny that, like, when I hear you say that, I'm like, exaggerate a little more, you fucking pussy. But it's not.
No.
It really is. We're in this pocket where if we treat our bodies the same way we did in our 20s and 30s, it will not make it.
Oh, it's impossible.
You will not go on a swing with your kid. You will not take your kid for a bike ride because you will not be able to hold on to the bike.
Absolutely.
That's like what's going to happen to us. And it's not when I'm 80. It's
like
it's coming
60-ish.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I've just recently got slapped in the face with that in Colombia. It was like, hey man, your shoulder's like going to stop. I'm like, what do you mean stop?
It's a bummer, I mean, well, I actually, I take that back. I have this mantra in my life. Like, I don't complain about shit, right?
Yeah.
If I wake up in the morning and I'm in pain, I go sit in the shower for a half hour. If I fucked myself up and I'm in pain, I don't complain about it because it's all self-inflicted.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anybody else's fucking gripes. So I know nobody wants to hear my
Have
fucking
you
gripes.
always been that way? Or
I have.
Oh, okay. So there wasn't a time, because I think
It
at
was
one
beaten
point
in me
you
as a
got hurt
child.
more than anybody I knew.
It was beat in me as a child. Like me and
Your
my
dad did that?
Well, just me and my old man. My dad was 22 when I was born.
dad's a
and
tough
my mom was
motherfucker.
gone. Yeah. So it's like you suck it up, you move forward. Like
Right.
you make these stupid fucking choices. I don't want to hear about it.
It's a pretty good mindset if you decide to be in motocross for your life.
I mean, you kind of have to,
Right.
Especially nowadays, like as intense as the sport is and the speeds and how hard these guys are hitting the ground.
Do people in all the new blood, do they respect you? And if you ever, like, from time to time, people thank you for your contributions to the motocross world?
You know what? Absolutely, there is, which is flattering because
It's well deserved, dude.
Well, I mean, I just think that it's cool because I think there's an appreciation, and I think this is true for skateboarding as well, or even any action sports. We wouldn't be in our position, right, without like you with the old school bowl skaters and all the guys of the 70s and the 80s and the vert ramp riders. I wouldn't be where I was at without Rick Johnson and Jeff Ward and all the old school racers.
Yeah.
So I think that there's still that respect level is really cool. And also like what's kind of a fun thing for me is, and I don't want to say names because it's not even important, but occasionally I'll get a call from an agent or from a team manager and be like, hey, you mind jump on a call with my athlete? You know, like he's young, he's getting a lot of popularity. You know, I'm worried, maybe he's not making bad decisions yet, but I'm worried he might go down that path.
Yeah.
Just call him and talk to him.
Yeah.
And dude, I get on the phone and, we shoot the shit for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it might be, and just kind of run him through the trials and tribulations. Like, dude, you're 18 years old. You got one shot. It's literally a snap of the fingers in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, take advantage, put your head down,
it will change
have your fun,
the
whatever.
rest of your life if you dig in
100%.
right now. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I like that part and respect that part. Is that actually funny? Yesterday, this younger freestyle rider, his name's Jimmy Hill, super, super good dude, like really cool image, does his own thing. And he sent me a direct message on Instagram, and him and his old man and a couple of buddies are sitting at home watching like one of the Terra Firma videos that we shot in 98. And was just like, dude, this is so rad. Like, I remember these days watching these movies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And just like little, head nods like that. It's fucking pretty cool.
It's awesome. Do you still hang out with Ricky and how's with the Moto Supercross thing? I know you're out of that. Do you have any interest? Do you look back at that fondly? Or do you think you would do that again? Or where do you stand when it comes to professional racing and sponsorship?
Well, first, me and Ricky still talk all the time. Unfortunately,
dude.
He's one of my favorite fucking people.
One of the
on
greatest
planet.
humans of all time.
I mean, so when we were talking earlier in your kitchen about how I'd always be like, yeah, what's up, you fucking idiot? Like that.
Yeah.
Dude, me and his dynamic is brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal.
It's only
so
abuse.
harsh. It's just all abuse.
This is the weirdest thing. I've been friends with him for so long, but there's been times where I think every time we interact, it was like, fucking, what's up, loser? Fucking right off. Like, look at this fucking train wreck. And I'm like, it's good to see you too,
cool?
man. Yeah.
Are we still cool?
Yeah, I was like, wait, have we said anything nice to each other in the last 5 years? Shit like that would go down. But I get it because that's the technique.
Yeah, and that's our friendship. And, so I still talk to Ricky all the time. Don't get to see him as much because I don't go to the races much anymore. But yeah, the team stuff, I'll tell you, it was one of the funnest times of my life.
Okay.
Being the team owner and building something the way that we did, and then bringing Ricky in and really elevating that program and winning a championship. But it was also one of the most stressful times of my life.
I bet.
It
because
seemed
like that.
My job, Ricky was technical side. Ricky obviously was a face of the team like myself. Ricky brought Suzuki, like he brought the race mentality. But between primarily myself and his manager and a couple other people, I had to go out and chase the money.
Oh,
And,
wow.
I think our last year between Soaring Eagle and Dodge and Jimmy John's and all these companies, we were bringing in like $6 million on the program. And that was like a break even. The thing about motocross is you raise all your capital before that gate drops.
I'm so confused
it
that
is a
$6
roll the fucking
million
dice.
is how much it costs for a season for an athlete to race.
Yeah, actually
in?
we were 5.5 the last year.
What are the prices? Is it the truck and driving things there?
No, it's salary.
Is it the bike?
We had 20 people on the payroll from engineers.
Are there guys in the engineer department that make substantial money, or is it just the professional rider?
I don't want to talk about their salaries because I don't want to overstep any boundaries, but the guys that are like doing motor programming, electronics, even the day-to-day mechanics, practice mechanics, they're making a great living.
Okay.
I don't want to say they're.
Yeah, no, I don't want to know either. I just wanted to.
But we had, I think we had 15 people on the payroll because I had 2 semis, one for racing, one for activation, because our sponsors.
Wait, what's activation?
So the fun thing on the same subject, the fun thing that I can kind of hang my hat on with motocross was my team really changed the face of the sport because I don't know if you remember or not, especially like think back to like when you used to come do that 125 race they would do in the pits, right?
Yeah.
In those days, you would go into the pits and there was nothing happening. It was race truck. You got in your line, you got your autograph, and you moved along and you went into the stadium to watch the race.
Okay.
We started doing crazy shit, right? Like at one time we had go-go dancers on stripper poles with a.
You did it at the
smoke
Lucas
machine.
Oil outdoor races. This is my championships up here.
I see those
very, very
championships
quick.
up there.
Very proud of those. But you did that. This was even on a scale that was 10 times smaller than Supercross, and your tent was fucking pumping.
Always.
Yeah.
And so what we
had
learned
a pole.
learned from
girls
that is
running around it.
We started collecting data before there was really data collecting, and we didn't do it on purpose. We had these little scratch pads. write down your name, write down your email address, and we want to, send you something cool type shit. And we would have trash bags full of these handwritten papers. Then we kind of got a little smarter, started doing iPads. Well, little did we know, this was like the future of bringing in sponsorship. Like when we got sponsored by Chrysler Group, when we were sponsored by Dodge, they didn't give a fuck about what we did on the track because our riders at that time were mid-pack riders. They cared that we were collecting 4,000 or 5,000 brand new email addresses every weekend and sending them back to corporate. And then they could reach out to those people and say, hey, saw you went by RCH on Saturday. Why don't you go into our local dealership and test drive a Dodge Challenger?
Yeah.
And that's really what gave us the momentum to go raise those funds to go get guys like Ken Roxon. I mean, and
that was an accident.
It was a total accident. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you I had this foresight. It was just like, hey, we got all these people here. Let's get their email address and
fucking good idea, dude.
Shoot them some emails occasionally. Whatever the motivation was at the time. And that's what allowed us to be able to build this program, to go get guys like Ken Roxon and go get the staff that we had. And, there was a time where I was actually on the verge of kind of going the NASCAR format and actually establishing 2 race teams. Kind of like how NASCAR,
you were going to do another race team.
We were going to do a secondary race team.
Would it be called the same thing or a new name?
It would have been RCH Racing, but one would have been XYZ title sponsor with this manufacturer, and this one would have been XYZ sponsor with this manufacturer.
So you were doing really well at one point.
We were kicking ass, absolutely kicking ass. Without winning.
And then when you get Roxon, the budget to pay him is so much that now you're breaking even?
Well, we always base all the budgets on a spend, right? Like I didn't get into first of all, there's no money in owning a supercross team.
Yeah.
Selfishly, one of the reasons why I started it was because I was in the much later part of my career and it was a way to keep me out in the public so that I could keep my endorsement deals coming through. So that was my selfish piece out of it.
Okay.
But each year we would build the budgets on getting the best mechanic, the best rider on what we had. So there was never any money to be made.
A mechanic can make your rider faster.
Yes, by the standpoint of, if you notice, like the next time you're watching Supercross, and if they're talking about a rider and his mechanic, the mechanic, and I'm not taking it away from his craft. I mean, he is there to keep the motorcycle on the track and in one piece.
Yeah.
But he's also their therapist, their big brother. Like these riders and mechanics have a bond.
Okay.
Like historically, you'll see a lot of top Supercross racers will take their mechanic with them from program to program.
Got it.
Because they just have this bond. Like, the mechanic can relax the rider on the track when he comes in and he's bitching about his bike. He can say, shut the fuck up, go out and ride the bike. It's the same bike you rode during the week.
All right.
So like there is that bond. So a lot of times, like when we first brought Ken on the program, he brought Kelly, his mechanic from factory KTM with him.
That's what he
because that was his bond.
Okay.
And it's a interesting footprint, but to, not to keep going on about Supercross teams, it was some of the most fun times I've ever had because, okay, this is going to be super petty. When I was a Supercross racer, I had half sleeve tattoos. I rode for a baggy gear company, which was Shift and then Flesh Gear. I did it out of the back of my van with 2 piece of shit motorcycles. No mechanic, did the entire Supercross series on my own. And because of my image and what motocross was going through at that time, I got zero support. I was one of the top privateers my last year of racing Supercross, which is nothing monumental, but it's at least something to kind of get your foot in the door to get on a team. And because of my image and my tattoos and my crazy colored hair and all my shit, I just got no attention.
It went against you.
It went against me. And that's what forced me into freestyle. Not forced me, but that's what made me kind of turn the corner and focus on freestyle. To come back 20 or 15 years later, owning a team, not only owning a team, but a successful team and a championship winning team, and seeing those same handful of people in the pits, it was a nice fuck you to you. It's like, look at this tattooed scumbag, look at me now. And it's petty, but it was definitely a nice dig.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm into it.
And I'm assuming by then there were a couple other people running around who looked like you had looked 10, 15 years earlier.
Well, just the whole industry changed.
Of course, yeah.
Back in the late 90s, they were trying to go after this clean-cut NASCAR image. And it just, some of the guys played by the rules because they had to. And some of the guys, which basically was the freestyle contingent spinoff, were like, fuck you guys, we're going a different direction.
So you mentioned that Alicia's on tour again? Or
No, she's doing some one-off shows.
around the world though, right?
I think mostly just in America. I know she's doing Bottle Rock up in Napa the end of May and a couple of one-off shows. She's just kind of slowly gearing the machine up. You know, I think she was wanting to go back on tour this year, but with venues and COVID and all this kind of craziness, I think she was just like, let's slow roll this thing.
Now that your kids are older and they go to school, you can't take them with you, correct?
Yeah, that's a conversation that we've been having. Like, it was one thing when Willow was 7 and Jameson was 3 or 2 or 3. It was a little different dynamic. And now we're still trying to figure out that how that's going to work. But
Like homeschool?
I think ultimately what we'll probably do is have her really focus on the summertime and the month of November.
Yeah.
So she can go do, hit the road through the summer, bring the kids with, obviously myself. That way it's not really affecting their schooling is schooling, but the social aspect of schooling, I think, is what's really important for my kids at this point.
All right.
So we're kind of dancing with how it's all going to work out, but we really want our kids to be in school and live that.
Is there a chance
lifestyle.
that she goes on the road and you stay home?
There might be some of that, but nothing for a length of time. I mean, like my daughter's really into acting and singing now. Like she's she's doing all of her local school plays and all that stuff.
Shit.
So we want
So she already sings good?
She does, yeah.
She was adorable on that. Was it a Disney Christmas
Yeah,
thing?
that
It was
Disney
so
Christmas
cute.
thing, yeah.
I mean, and she was good, not just cute. She was.
No, she's got her mom's chops for sure. I'm a little
Nice.
nervous about it, but she's definitely got her mom's chops.
So does that mean she can't ride a motorcycle?
She can.
Right.
Yeah,
She's
both
got
my
both.
kids. Yeah, both
She's got
my
both
kids
skills?
been riding since they were 3.
You don't want them to race or anything, right?
No. I want them to ride, have fun, learn it, but I am not trying to go
I
be
love
a
how
mini
that-
dad at 50.
Yeah. It's a weird thing to want your kid to go through that.
It's just hard. It's a hard path, especially nowadays with 4-stroke motorcycles and the speeds and the injuries. I mean, I want my kids to try new shit to turn me on to, like my kids love racing BMX. Do we throw the bikes in the back of the pickup truck and go to the BMX track?
Yeah, my brother's daughter is like Victorian state champion and she beats boys.
Yeah.
She's like a BMX champion.
That's great. And there's, I think for women, there's a future. There's the Olympics, there's other things to do. I feel so bad for women motocross riders because there's not really an end game for them, and it's a shame.
All right.
Yeah, I'm kind of pushing them to surfboards and golf clubs and tennis rackets, things of that sort.
Yeah, ones that don't hurt as much.
Yeah, like we'll go trail ride all day long. I built them a motocross track at my property. We can do that for fun, but I do not want my kids to see gate drops.
Yeah,
because it's like an addiction.
Yeah, and it's so dangerous. Yeah,
it is, and I don't want to sound like that archaic dad that being a hypocrite that my kids can't do what I did. I mean, if they caught fire, so be it.
I was gonna say if my kid wanted to, then yeah, sure.
Exactly. I'm
But
not going to
gonna
deprive
push it on
them,
him.
but I'm not pushing it on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you guys brainstormed non-athletic hobbies for like your 60s? Like esports champions?
You mean video games?
Yeah.
No, I don't really like video games
I don't
like
either.
that.
You'd
Anyway,
be back in the X Games.
yeah. We'll both have more popularity in the X Games as a gamer than we will as athletes. Isn't that awesome?
That's really sad. Yeah, I feel like to me, comedy is what I'm gonna try and do. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like I said, it makes you nervous and you don't get hurt. If my arm doesn't work, I'm pretty sure it'll still hold a microphone.
Or you can
And
do
they
that
have stands.
Janet Jackson
There you
True.
go.
thing.
Just have floppy arms on the side. Hey guys,
Yeah.
two girls walked into a bar. Yeah.
Bob Dole did great with that pen. You could probably
Yes,
do the
I'll hold a pen. What a terrible day where
I
I
don't
have
know.
a pen to reveal that my hand does not work.
You guys might be back in the X Games. I saw that scientists brought dead eyes back to life. They're rejuvenating dead organs. So
I'm going to need some fresh eyes soon.
yeah, given 15 or
How
20
are your
years-
eyes? Can you see?
I'm fine at distance, but dude, up close, I'm feeling my age.
Isn't that an awesome day? The
It
first time you do,
sucks.
you know that thing that you notice old people doing when you're little.
Like this.
The first time you do that.
The flashlight on the phone on the menu at the restaurant. Yeah, that's me. Super awesome. Super cool.
Fucking hate that.
I have to have my daughter do like the tip and the adding because I can't see the damn receipt because I refuse to wear glasses.
Yeah.
I'm just going kicking and screaming.
Okay.
You know why? Because
Yeah, I want to know why.
if I get too used to them, I actually have to use them in my shop when I'm building a motorcycle because
Yeah.
everything's at hand distance.
Yeah.
I forget everything. Like I literally have one of those iPhone tracker things on my wallet so that I don't lose my wallet. I carry nothing but a wallet and a phone because I'm gonna fucking leave readers everywhere.
Do you think that from hitting your head a lot that there's something like that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think I have a lot of residual effects from concussions.
How many have you had?
Probably around 10-ish, but 5 of them were sleepers,
Right.
out for 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. Weird how those ones
Yeah.
are noticeably different.
Yeah. I can take a little bell ringer, but
Right.
the ones where you're snoring and then you're 10-second Tom for the second half of the day,
It's not cool.
those aren't fun.
Scary.
Yeah. They get a little spooky when you can't remember the person's name that you're talking to or
Yeah.
a phone number to call someone to tell them you're okay.
Yep. That's bad.
Yeah.
But when it's not that bad,
These two are like,
yeah. I like 6 months ago, I hit my head at Tony's and broke my helmet open, and I felt myself. I was like, I'm out, and then I hear him, and I'm like, why are you here? I'm like, oh fuck, okay, I know what happened, and then I could feel my brain almost going out again, and it scared me.
Was it this
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
dude, I have to say though, again, we've been
I know.
friends a long time.
idiot.
I'm stoked to see you skating again.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm
I
really.
know there was a big
Yeah.
gap there where you were over at Nantai, which is understandable, but it's good to see you skating again.
I'm really having a good time too.
It's good.
I
That's
would
what
say
it's
I'm
about.
probably having more fun now than I can't. I mean, from the beginning when I wasn't pro, those were probably the best times.
Yeah.
But I'm really having fun. And
That's what it's
you know,
about.
Tony's ramp, and there's a bunch of people that are from my era that are on the ramp with me.
Yeah.
So it's like, can you look at us, dude? This is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so fun. We're all like, oh, watch out. I mean, it's been an hour and a half. We're kind of tired now. Like things that are said that are
Yeah.
that
That you
not-
didn't
that
say
you
as a
didn't
youth.
say.
You didn't show your weakness as a youth.
But it's
I'm not
but it's-
tired.
Yeah, but it's cool to accept it, because that's what it. But we're still here. Like, hey, I am tired, and if I fall, I'm going to get way more hurt than usual. But we're here. God damn it,
Yeah. I know I talk about being old a lot, and like you brought up a minute ago, I'm old for a motocrosser's body or action sports
Yeah.
body. But I will tell you, 30 sucked because I've been doing motocross actively for so long. In my 30s, and all the hot and heavy kids were like in their 20s, mid 20s, whatever. I was distinctly the older rider. Like I was the grandpa of motocross.
Oh,
But when I hit 40, it was like something clicked where it's like, oh, wait, like I've seen some of my friends from high school, occasionally, like when I go back to Vegas after hitting 40 and they have these bellies
Yeah.
and they're just like miserable and out of shape. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm doing this thing right now. Like 40 is not so bad.
yeah. There is a pocket where if you don't maintain, the body does start to give up dramatically.
Dramatically.
It's a fight for sure.
Yeah.
And if you've maintained, it's kind of like when you see those old guys that have abs and their face is just old as fuck. That guy wasn't out of shape until today. Like that guy's been in reasonable condition his whole life. And then when he got real old, he was like, fuck it, I'll turn it up
Yeah,
and stay shred.
exactly.
I feel like it helps if you have a background in it. Like if you've always been out of shape and you're like, I'm getting fit at 45, that's going to be a fucking hard road.
Real hard.
'Cause
Big
it's-
B's went through it.
Yeah, how's he doing? He had a
He's
heart,
doing great. Yeah, he had a valve replaced in his heart.
but he's good now.
He's good. Yeah, like right at the start of COVID, he got on a full health kick. Like he's always eaten really well. Like for a big dude, fat dude, whatever you want to call him, you would think he eats like garbage. He doesn't. He eats pretty clean, but he's never had the piece of exercise in there.
Okay.
And right when COVID started, I had an extra, what a ski erg is?
Yeah, I've seen him on it.
So yeah, I gave him that ski erg. I wrote him a program and he lost 62 pounds
Yeah.
since jumping on, and then he got his heart fixed. So he rides his mountain bike a couple of miles each day,
I
does
see
a
it.
ski erg, and then just yesterday I started getting him up in my gym, and we're gonna start putting some muscle on him.
Yeah.
Is he gonna get some abs?
I
I
told
don't
him
think
that
that's gonna
I
happen.
showed him a photo. Like I saw this video going around the dark web of some dude that got a full 6-pack tattoo, but like done really, really well. And I'm like, dude, start lasering now, and then you can get this done.
I know, because his
in
whole
a couple
belly's
of years.
covered, right?
Yeah, I was like, dude, start lasering and come back with this, dude.
Who's the girl comedian that paints it on every day? Annie? Is it Annie?
Oh, any Liederman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every day. Paints it on with makeup.
As a joke or as serious?
I don't know. because she shows that she paints it, so
Like, is
you
she
know
trying to
it's not
fool anybody,
real.
or-
I don't know.
Or is it a vanity thing or a funny
I think
thing?
it's part comedy and part like if you don't know her, you do think she has abs. But I see her post on
Weird.
Instagram like painting it in first and showing people how she does it.
so weird. I don't get what women are doing to themselves, or everybody in general.
I was gonna say, don't leave us out.
Yeah,
No.
I tried it once. Remember?
You did.
You guys sent me to some like clinic in Beverly Hills, and they spray painted
Ah, yeah,
abs on me.
yeah, didn't work.
And no, I wasn't fooling anybody. No,
Yeah, you're not the guy.
no.
Pretty
I
hard
still
to-
had flaps.
Yeah, I think you got to meet the makeup halfway.
Yeah, you got to have at least like some sort of flat belly to spray on. You did not.
Gotta have a
No, no,
decent
no.
canvas.
You can't have abs on a lumpy fat person.
Yeah, it just looks like laces on a football.
Oh, that is such a vivid description.
You look like a Burger King patty, just fucking grill marked. That's weird. So what's your plan for? What do you have going besides the racing?
I'm just
Being a dad.
yeah, dad number one, chasing the wife around and just doing my Indian obligations in motocross. And
How's she
like, to
doing?
your point earlier, I'm having like the last 5 years I've been having more fun as a motocross athlete
Yeah.
than my whole life.
Do you think it's because to me I've let go of being good,
Yeah.
and that's what's made it more fun? Because my competitive side was always a little bit bummed that I was losing my skills and that there were new people getting better. I was like, man, this is not what I remember. I always remember being one of the guys, but now I'm like, good for you. Anybody that's better. And I just want to go home in my car, not in an ambulance. So it's pretty
Yeah.
easy to have a good day. I don't expect too much of myself.
Yeah, I kind of went through that in my 30s, like the conversation we had earlier. That was really kind of my transition of like, all right, I can't keep up with the 20-year-olds and the double flips and all the shit. But to your point now, it's like, I still enjoy, like right now, I do my motos 3 days a week. I train 6 days a week because I want to be in the best shape I can going
Yeah.
into these races so that I don't get hurt.
Right.
I'm not going to come off the couch, think I'm going to go out and do 2 30-minute motos and crash my brains out.
That's smart.
But when I am in shape and when I am feeling good, I have an absolute blast doing it, and still getting to go do trips with Fox and trips with Gas and kind of just still have that little glimmer of a professional career still. It's an absolute blast. I have just a ton of fun doing it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get back into that too.
What's that?
Talk about that. Might get a bike.
Street or dirt?
Dirt.
Nice. Come up, dude. My track is insane.
Yeah, I gotta. We're gonna grow the show a little more. Sirius XM thing was not cool. So right now, like getting a motorcycle and a truck to drive my motorcycle, it's
Yeah.
not in the budget.
Yeah.
And right now I've got that fight that I want to do, and after I want to do a couple more things before I start doing that again. But I do think that I have a mindset now because I can tell when I skate, I don't do every now and then I make a mistake and make something and I go, oh, dude, you shouldn't have fucking gone for that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if I'm in any trouble, I go, man, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking make everything. If it's not right, get off.
Yeah.
So I feel like on a dirt bike, I just always had that thing where play safe, play safe, play safe. And then I don't know, fucking 15 minutes later, it's fucking gone. Whatever that thought is gone. And and I'm like, dude.
Well, that was always your problem. Like,
Right.
and I'm not saying that as a dig, but like what we were talking about a minute ago, like you've probably gotten to the point in your life where you're not going to Paris and thinking you're going to impress everybody as a skater turned dirt bike rider.
Right.
Like that was your heyday. When you go out there and crash your fucking brains out doing jumps you shouldn't even be attempting. Like I've been there for a couple of them. It's not a pretty sight. You don't have good motocross style, so
No.
just calm it down.
I'll get some gusto though.
But now, it's like you can be to that point and know, okay, here's my limit.
Right.
I'm not out here to impress anybody. I'm having a good time and just go have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. Yeah. I'm at a level now where I'm like, just ride because I can now enjoy. The last couple of times I was riding, I was like, slower is faster.
Oh, it
Work on
is.
your technique.
Absolutely.
And that keeps me amused. So I don't have to get into this reckless thing anymore. But I could tell, even at like the last couple of times I rode, every now and then somebody would pass me and I'd
Get
keep
pissed.
up. And then next thing you know, he's going over that big one. I'm going over the big one. I'm like, dude, if he wasn't here and you were just here by yourself,
Yeah.
you would just ride it the way you wanted to ride it,
Yeah.
not try to do anything that might be pushing it. Because
I have to do that myself. As I get late into a moto or like a training session, I literally have to tell myself, all right, back it down 25%, smoothers faster, work on technique, and I don't hit the ground, and I actually end up going a little faster usually.
Yeah, I'm looking to that.
Well, if you ever get the itch, before you get a bike, come up. I got a spare bike you can ride, and I got a really fun, safe motocross track.
I still got on my gear, so that is a thing that could be done.
Anytime.
I didn't give that up. It's all still there, ready to go. Bunch of cobwebs in it.
Just ready to be unpacked.
I couldn't give the bag up. No way.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not over. It might be over, but you never know.
Just in case.
Yeah. I don't feel good about getting a free bag of moto gear right now either. So I'll hold on to it.
There you go.
Thanks for being on the show, dude. Thanks for coming all this way.
All
It's fucking
good.
really cool. If there's is there a website, like where do you go to check out Carey Hart?
Yeah, just a couple things. So as it pertains to my charity, anybody that has a motorcycle, we're doing one ride in the Central Coast, starting in Santa Barbara on June 4th.
Yeah.
It's open to anybody with 2 wheels and a license. Again, those proceeds are for veterans and Infinite Hero. And secondly, we'll be doing a ride in Sturgis, South Dakota during the rally. So if you're out there, if you can't make a ride, if you go on our website, you can purchase an entry for a veteran. We'll send you a limited edition hat, so you don't have to ride, don't have to be involved with it, but you can put a smile on a vet's face for the day.
Nice.
And then also check out Feel Free, discount code HEART40, give you 40% off your first order.
Or you could use Ellis 40 and get the same discount.
Yeah.
Because you can only do it one time.
Yeah, one
so
time.
one time, do Heart 40.
Yeah, you got
Second
2 discount codes. There you go.
You're fucking welcome, assholes. Thanks for being on the show, dude. Love you.
Thanks.
All right. Don't die.
If you want more of Jason Ellis Show, sign up for their Patreon at patreon.com/EllisMate for a 2-hour show every Tuesday and Wednesday. To watch full episodes of The Jason Ellis Show, subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/The Jason Ellis Show. And don't forget to follow the crew on Instagram at Wolfmate, at Tullywood, at Kevin Kraft, at Underwear Wolf, and at The Jason Ellis